Welcome, everyone, to the first episode of Fake Nerds Watch for Star Trek Picard Season 2. This is Episode 1. I do not remember the title of this episode. The Stargazer. I got there. It is Episode 1, The Stargazer. We are back. Mike, Downright Nerdy Podcast, welcome back.
Dude, thank you so much again for having me, man. I'm, as always, excited to talk Star Trek with you, whether it be Discovery, Picard, Lower Decks, whatever you may be.
And what's nice is we're back to Picard. We started with Picard. We're back with Picard.
Yeah. Coming full circle.
Yeah.
Hopefully this won't be the end, though.
It probably. Cookie's not here. Cookie couldn't join us for Star Trek Picard Episode 1. But let's just get right into it. Mike, what did you think of this first episode of Season 2? Oh, no.
I actually liked it a lot.
Yeah, me too.
I actually really liked it.
Yeah.
I couldn't have been more surprised. I feel like this is what the first season, they should just erase the first season, just have this. They went the direction that they decided to go with in this episode was very much reminiscent of a 2-part series ish of like a TNG episode.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought the writing was great. I thought the dialogue was incredible. I thought that the suspense, the callbacks, the amount of screen time that we get with each character was fine.
Mm-hmm.
I was completely caught off guard as to how much I enjoyed this episode.
100%. I sat on Thursday morning. Every Thursday I sit down because Zara's at work. She's my partner. I'm like, it's my only chance I can watch these Star Trek shows because she's not watching these ones. She's watching Next Gen right now. So I sat down and I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch Discovery first. No spoilers for whatever our Fake Nerds Watch for Discovery Season 4 is going to happen, but like, whatever. And I was like, okay, now I'll just watch Picard. And like, we were not hot on the first season of Picard. We are honestly, it ranked my least favorite after that season ended. As far as like all the Star Trek shows on the air go, Picard was my least favorite. And like, damn, immediately I was like, I'm hooked. And I'm enjoying it.
Like literally, like how did they do this? You know,
I don't know. It's a complete 180 from the last season.
I mean, you can absolutely see that whoever the writers were, I feel like they took whatever criticisms that they read online and they probably took that into account with this season.
Maybe.
At least this first episode.
The opening sequence of it, I was like, oh, this is fun. This is like happy. This is bubbly. Like, yeah. I really like the interplay between Laris and Picard.
I loved it.
Momulin, I'm so into her. She's 60. You go, girl.
Yeah.
And she's like, and so then like the theme song starts, and it's the same theme from the first season, but it's kind of more upbeat.
And it's a different opening sequence as well.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, this is a better theme song too. And like I was like, that they can't have, this is just a fluke, right? They can't be this good. And like, dang, I was really, by the end of it, I was like, I'm hooked. Give me the next episode. I can't wait to see the next episode.
Yeah. You want to just start breaking down the episode right now?
Let's do it. Let's start with the beginning.
Go for it. Yeah.
So the beginning, well, they do the 48 hours later bit in the beginning, which I did enjoy, but let's not talk about that until we get to the.
For sure. We'll talk about that.
But basically, the plot of the story starts with Picard on his vineyard, and he's making his wine. And it's the end of the season, and Siobhan is dead. Pour one out for Siobhan. I'm so sorry, buddy. Died off screen. And Laris is kind of taken over the managerial duties of the vineyard. Picard obviously runs it, but we get number one. I was happy to see number one again.
Yep.
Yeah, I really, really liked the interplay and when they're kind of drinking the wine together, and there's this flirtatiousness because I think Laris is supposed to be like 150. So she's actually older than Picard, and so like they're cheersing and they're having this kind of fun little romantic banter, and I was like, I buy this. Actually, I'm surprised that I'm buying a 99-year-old man flirting with a 60-year-old woman so well right now. What's happening?
And vice versa too. And
Yeah.
it was nice because the thing about Picard's I guess history that we know,
Hmm.
there's the thing that we know the least about him is his romantic endeavors, right? Yeah, we do see there's a lot of tension between him and obviously Dr. Crusher. We also see a love interest with him and gosh, the archaeologist chick's name I can't remember off the
Vash.
Vash. And then there's the lieutenant, like the science lieutenant that he plays the flute with, right?
Hmm.
In the Jeffries tubes. But other than that, we don't. He's always put duty above all, right? And that's the kind of common theme with him, at least so far,
Hmm.
right? And it kind of comes to fruition toward like this entire time. Throughout this episode, he doesn't go after Laris, right?
Yeah.
He actually leaves her because there's an important mission, off in space where the Stargazer and the captain, Rios,
Rios.
he finds some rift in space time, whatever.
There's a rip in space
A
time.
rip in space time, glowing green, shocking. I wonder. It's like anything glowing green right now. Do you think the Federation would just be kind of like, okay, let's just at least think like, hey, this probably is Borg, even though that they're kind of wiped out, right? Let's like, I mean, still
Right.
get on high alert a little bit.
Yeah, I
Anyways,
like
I mean,
the
that was the only thing that was like a little bit nitpicky, but it did not bother me one bit.
you brought up
But real
Stargazer
quick,
though. Okay.
I just wanted to finish this thought because the overall theme is that Picard is choosing duty over his own personal love, right?
Yeah.
And towards I mean, we're gonna go full spoilers, I assume, in this episode. So, right at the very end, his choice of choose duty over love and staying with Laris causes the entire fleet to be destroyed via self destruct, and then we'll talk about the very last end later, I guess. But and I think that at the very end, when the big reveal, obviously Q saying the road not taken, I think he's going to show him a life that he had if he were to choose his a love interest as opposed to duty,
I
or maybe
guess
some kind of mixture of the both. I'm not sure.
I do
That's what I
think
kind of gathered.
I do think you're on the right track. I think that this theme is kind of deconstructing. This season will deconstruct how Picard is workaholic. We've always known that he was. He's never made time for personal relationships. Even it took the last episode of Star Trek Next Generation for him to join a poker game.
Yeah,
Right. Like he is very closed off. He is constantly putting his work above everything else. And the autobiography of Star Trek Picard, which I just finished, this didn't end very well, but I thought the opening stuff does detail a lot of like, where this is what this man does always. He will always put his ship, his like it's his he does the same thing to Laris that he did to the girl in Paris. If you remember Next
yes, yeah, I
Generation,
do remember. Yep,
he stood someone up to take over the Stargazer.
yep.
And that was like, I can go with her because he says in that episode, I can go with her and leave Starfleet behind, but he chose Starfleet. And like I think that's kind of what we're seeing. We saw that again with Laris. Like Laris looks at him leaving on a shuttlecraft,
Right.
kind of longingly. That he just didn't pay her a second thought. My Starfleet called, I answered.
Oh, and you saw the heartbreak in her eyes
Oh
when she realized he was gone, and she sees the ship leave.
yeah. By the way, I gotta say real quickly. So Olga Brady is the actress who plays Laris.
Mhm.
She's 60 years old. She looks great. All of Star Trek Twitter is thirsting after her, and I just gotta say, you go, girl. Like, good for
Hey,
you.
I ain't on Twitter very often, but I'm on their team. Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
Yes.
100%. She is gorgeous.
Yep.
Anyway, and I love her accent. Anyway, um, the Stargazer, Captain Rios, has taken
Beautiful.
over the new
Beautiful ship.
Stargazer. Beautiful ship.
Beautiful ship. I love it. I mean, it's very subtle, right? They only added the third and fourth
Nacelles.
nacelles, yes.
Yeah.
But man, does it look good.
Yeah, I like
It
it.
looks great. I love it.
One of the things that was really frustrating about the first season, as far as like a Star Trek fan of like aesthetically, it's it's been talked to death, so we'll talk about it here. The end of the season ends with a bunch of copy and pasted ships, like 150 ships of the same class.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. And then the shuttlecrafts
Someone was taking notes when they were reading the
Right?
Reddit reviews.
and then the shuttlecrafts in Picard season 1 were just reused shuttlecrafts from Discovery season 1 and 2. And now we got new shuttlecrafts. We got tons of new ships. Then we got ships from Star Trek Online in this show. They made 4 of the ships canon for this show. I thought that was great.
Cool, man. Pretty cool.
There's a Sovereign class. There's a Galaxy class. There's an upgraded Excelsior class. Oh, I was looking at look at all those ships, man. Look at all those ships.
Did you freeze frame and pause and take a look?
No,
at
but
them?
I've watched a lot of breakdowns.
Yeah. Total fun, man. And so we also get to see the inside of the Stargazer, right? With Captain Rios, who is to those of you who follow and know me, know that I absolutely I'm a huge cigar aficionado, and seeing the captain on the bridge of a starship smoking a cigar brings happy tears to my heart.
And he never lights it though. He never lights it. He just has
you know
it.
what? That's fine. I mean, there's been several times where I just have it in my mouth. It is what it is, and God, it was so fun to watch.
I'm really glad he took over a ship. I'm happy to see him in Starfleet. Like he's running his ship he's running his ship tight. He's got everyone going around. He knows,
but he still has fun, right?
Yeah, he still has
it's
fun.
Tight, but has fun. He reminds me a lot of Janeway. Like
yes,
she ran a tight ship, but she had fun because they had extenuating circumstances, but even still, I see a lot of similarities between him and Janeway.
Yeah, I do too. They pick up Girardi, Dr. Girardi.
Yes, yeah. Who was initially at what planet was she on with all the other synths?
Delta. She was with the Deltans from
and
Star Trek Motion Picture.
I loved the quick interaction that she has. Well, so the interaction starts with a synth trying to hit on her, and then she kind of doesn't. And
no, it's not a synth. That was a Deltan. Remember, Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
That's right. Yeah,
Star Trek: The Motion Picture introduces the Deltans as this kind of like extremely sensual species.
Yeah, but the interaction I'm talking about is between her and the main synth from last season.
Oh, Soji,
and she's like, "You told me that if any, she was essentially being her wingman, right?
Yeah,
at a bar, like don't let me." Drunk dial any of my ex-boyfriends. And she's like, well, I assume that meant like received calls too. So I'm just trying to help you out. And I love that back and forth relationship. It brings a sense of familiarity with the audience to Star Trek. Right.
Yeah.
So I thought that was smart. And I thought that was well done.
I always liked the characters of Picard season 1. Like that was the thing that I was really into, and it's nice. And because I always thought they had good chemistry together. They all clearly had a good time working together, and the story doesn't quite let that shine through in this first season, and we get that more in this season. And it does feel like this crew, they like each other. These actors, they like each other. They like playing with each other. They like being on the Star Trek show with each other, and that comes through far more in this season than it did in the last season so far. That we see this interplay, like when Girardi is with Rios, and she just kind of like goes under the railing and is like, "Can I do this quickly? Let me just." Like, it's fun. They're having a good time, even though this Star Trek show is supposed to be a little bit darker than the others. And that was really refreshing.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, very quickly, we are actually able to see a lot of the bridge crew members of the Stargazer with actual roles that they actually see.
Yes,
as opposed to Discovery, which we constantly get annoyed about.
Science officer, there's con, there's tactical. It's like, yeah, cool. I know what all you guys do on this ship. Good job.
All right. And how long did that take? It took 10 seconds.
I know, they're not even characters. We're never going to see them again, but I know what the hell they do.
Speaking of ships, captaining Rios's old ship is 7 of 9 with
Yeah.
the upgraded, if you want to call it, computer simulated doctor, or
All
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 the
the
Rioses.
all the Rios holograms have been merged
Yeah,
into one.
yeah. I thought that was kind of fun. The banter between Seven and Rios was pretty fun when he goes, What's with all the scratches on my ship?" And she goes, "It gives it character," or something like that. I can't
Yeah.
remember exactly what she said. Thought that was fun. Before Picard goes off, obviously, and before we see this big rift and all that stuff, he gives a speech to Starfleet Academy, and we get introduced to Elnor, who has joined Starfleet as the first Romulan.
Yes,
Correct?
the first full Romulan to join Starfleet.
Yeah, and he has put I can't remember the name of the ship, but he's on the same ship as Rafi is, right?
Excelsior.
Excelsior, yeah. And Rafi's still first officer, right? We don't get to see who the captain is. She's still just a commander, but yeah,
Oh,
so
she could be commanding the ship. Like
she
the
might
ship that
be.
might
Yeah,
not have a
yeah.
captain.
But I mean, you would assume that, well, just in the history of Star Trek, I
Yeah.
mean, it is rare to see just a commander commanding a
But we
ship.
also don't know. We also don't know. Like we're never gonna see the Excelsior again. Because now we're in this alternate time period. But like,
Yeah.
I do like that instead of forcing them all into one ship right away, it was, I think, done organically that the La Serena and the Stargazer were both there, and it's like, okay, let's maybe pool our resources. Girardi was there because she's a scientist, and we need to figure this mystery out. Picard is there because they asked for Picard, and then Rafi and Elnor show up because the Stargazer was like, "Hey, Starfleet, why don't you send a damn fleet? Because we don't know what we're dealing with," and they do. And so, like, I really liked that scene. I
Yeah,
really
it
liked
was
this
really cool.
episode.
Let's talk about the rift, I guess. So
It's a
it's
rift in
first
space time, which is interesting.
it's first discovered by Seven, and then Rios is able to intercept it somehow. And they start when Girardi comes on board, she's able to do her scientific magic and is able to kind of just get a whole she realizes it's an audio message saying,
There's a
"Help us,
lot of
Picard, help us,
there's
Picard."
a lot of different
Voices,
languages and voices
voices and languages, yeah.
in this thing, and they all translate to "Help us, Picard."
Yeah. And then so that gets relayed to Picard, who then leaves Laris, right? And then we talked about that.
Real
And
quickly, because you
yep,
brought up Laris one more time, I hope that we get more screen time for that actress. I
I
was
think so too.
really
I
upset that
hope so.
I was really upset that the last season we saw her in the first 2 episodes and then never again.
I bet you she is some like John Wickish type of like ex-military.
Oh, we know she's
kinda
ex Tal
Yeah,
Shiar.
yeah, no, but I'd love to see her just like go John Wick on someone, you know?
Yeah.
I think that'd be badass.
She says cheeky feckers in the last season, and I love that.
So anyways, Picard goes off and he goes and he tries to hail them, right? Oh,
Yeah,
real quick. No, before that, Rios says, "Make it so" on the Stargazer, and I thought that was great. I
me
thought that
too.
was awesome.
Because he was with Picard. He's been
Yeah,
with Picard enough times. He knows the legacy.
yeah.
So Elnor, real quickly, we kind of brushed over Elnor, but Elnor is given a book that was written by Spock that basically just talks about
Mhm.
Spock's time in Starfleet,
Yeah.
and his struggles. And he gives him because the point of the book is that Spock's lesson was to live a little,
Mhm.
and I really thought that was nice.
It was good.
Um, there's
There's a lot of little Easter eggs, especially with Picard at Starfleet, right?
yeah.
He mentions that he's thinking about redoing the Kobayashi Maru.
There's
Um,
there's the thing of all these like classic ships that we see
yeah, yeah,
Voyager and
yep.
Stargazer, maybe the Enterprise. Um, I do wonder. I still wonder. I was talking to my Star Trek group on it's called Made It So, our Star Trek group on Facebook. Bunch of people on there. We were talking about
Why am I not on
potentially
this group? I feel a little
because
hurt right now. It's
because
okay.
you're
Don't worry
not
about it. Whatever.
because you don't listen to the Weekly Planet podcast.
The Weekly Planet. Never heard of it. I don't think.
Exactly. So that's why you're not on it. That you're not
Are
in the
you on it?
know. Yeah.
You're on the why can't I say that?
The
Weekly
Weekly. Oh
Planet?
no, I'm not on the Weekly Planet. I'm a fan of the Weekly Planet. We have a
Oh,
Facebook group.
okay.
We have
Wait,
a
is that
Facebook
the
group.
one in Australia?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I have listened to it.
Okay. Yeah, we have a Facebook group
Oh, okay, cool.
of all the listeners of that show. We have a Facebook group.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, on that I was talking about how now that they've made some strips from Star Trek Online canon, I don't necessarily think they're making Star Trek Online canon, although there's no technically, I guess, no reason why it can't be. It's set a little bit further than Picard is. Like 2415 is when it starts, I think. But now that they've done that, I was curious about the Enterprise again. As always, I'm always curious about what the state of the Enterprise is in Starfleet at this point. We know that Star Trek Online has introduced the Enterprise F. And I'm curious if right now in Picard there is an Enterprise E, or if there is no Enterprise in service and we're going to see the Enterprise F someday down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Just little musings that I find that I'm always kind of talking about with that I'm always kind of
Well, I think we're always wondering where the Enterprise is and who's commanding it and why they don't have their own show.
well, we know
'cause
that Worf,
because historically, the Enterprise has been the flagship of Starfleet, right?
oh wait, sorry, Star Trek Online can't be canon because Worf is the captain of the Enterprise E.
How do we know he's not right now?
Well, no, because Data is the captain of the Enterprise E in Star Trek Online, and Data's dead. We know that. That was the whole last season about it.
That was all last season, yeah.
So he died again. Yeah. So Star Trek Online can't be canon. Sorry, guys, Star Trek Online, but it's cool that you guys got your ships. I'm happy for you. Okay, what were we talking about?
We were talking about the rift and how Picard first gets he leaves Laris and then he goes to Rios's ship, the Stargazer, and he asks, and then we hear the message. He tries to hail the rift, and
a Borg ship comes through.
Ship, an unusual shape of a Borg ship comes out, right?
Well,
which I thought was actually really nice. I like that.
Yeah, me too. There's a lot of really interesting stuff that's like feels very Star Trek to me that they're doing in this scene. Like when they realize it's the Borg that's calling them. There's Seven who's obviously going like no, like the Borg only exists to decimate. But because the Borg have been so decimated at this point in their history, because there's just we don't know the state of the Borg really, but according to Starfleet, they're just not doing well right now. I mean, for all they know, they could just be assimilated an entire quadrant. They wouldn't know. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The idea of peace, that the Borg are like, we come in peace. We want to join Starfleet. We want to join for the Federation. And Picard is the one saying like, we really, like, I get it. I get the trepidation, but we can't say no. Like, if this is real, if this is true, the Borg could be a very powerful ally to the Federation. I thought that both sides of the argument made sense. Both sides of the argument were very well articulated, and I found myself kind of in the middle, as you should, with these kind of Star Trek debates of like, well, yeah, on the one hand, the Borg are like the greatest enemy the Federation has ever faced, and on the other hand, if this is real, if this is true, and they actually do want peace, this could be a big deal.
This is the big reason why I love this episode so much, because historically Star Trek has been about exploring these moral themes, right?
Yeah.
Of one side versus the other, but you can kind of understand both sides. You know what I mean? And making those hard choices, especially as a captain or now admiral. And when this was presented, it evoked all these memories that of some of the highlighted classics of Star Trek, right?
Yeah.
That we had. I don't know, won't bore the audience because we've talked about this in length in previous episodes. So
yeah, I just felt like, and even then when the Queen arrives, by the way, I love her outfit. I love the Queen's outfit. I thought that looked really cool. And she arrives.
She's actually going to be representing the Borg in the bobsled Olympics.
Oh, of course. That's why she's there. It's for the Federation Olympics,
right? Yep.
Yeah. When she arrives on the ship, and by the way, return to the bubble shields.
Yes.
It doesn't take a lot, Star Trek.
Yeah.
But you make us happy when you do things like that. And she's not killing any of the people who are
Mhm.
firing on her. She's stunning every one of them. I was like, wait, what? We're misunderstanding something here. What's happening? What is happening is not what we think is happening.
Of course, yeah.
And like I get Picard's fear. By the way, nice touch for the synthetic body that he can't hear the Borg anymore. He
Yeah.
he he
Yeah, I
turns
didn't
to
notice that.
7 and he
Mhm.
turns to 7 and he asks like, "Is it the Borg?" Because he doesn't have the Borg implants in his new
He
body.
doesn't. Yeah.
But nice little touch that reminds us of a
Mhm.
terrible season.
Either that or they forgot about it, but either way, we're happy about it,
Well,
however it
it's
worked out.
that's all I need. That's kind of all I don't need to like every day be like every day every episode be like, hey, remember you live in a synthetic body now. You're a
Mhm.
golem body. But like little things like that, I'm happy with because it doesn't constantly remind me of a terrible season. It just kind of it's just kind of a nice little world building lore
Yeah.
that if you're paying attention, it's there.
Mhm.
So I'm curious to know what the Borg Queen's intention was because it was very like
Well, we
I'm
didn't w
assimilating the ship.
yeah, we didn't know because, Picard, well, not only did he tried to, prevent the Queen, from assimilating the ship, he failed, and now the Queen is actually assimilating all the ships because it's like some kind of mothership similar to, like, I guess, Independence Day, where if you get the one ship, everything else is,
Well,
somehow.
The Stargazer has Borg technology in it.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So she can easily assimilate the ship, so they think. And like there is a sense that she is trying to take over the ship, but we don't
Kind of
know for what
bad ship
reason.
design, don't you think?
Well, if you got the technology, you might as well use it, right?
I guess, but if one of your biggest threats was the Borg, you think you'd try to figure out a way
Yeah, that's
to
fair.
incorporate their technology without them being able to exploit it.
I mean,
Either way,
Voyager had Borg
either
tech by
way,
the time she came home.
what ends up happening is that Picard realized like, oh crap, I don't got time to make this decision. Self destruct all the ships now.
Yeah.
And 1090
Well, it's
76
self-destruct just the Stargazer.
I thought it was all the ships,
No,
dude.
it's just the Stargazer.
Mm,
Because you see all
mm.
the ships, they get pushed back by the destruction of the Stargazer. They don't explode they don't explode at the
Oh,
same
okay,
time.
okay, all right.
The shockwave of the Stargazer's explosion kind of pushes them away. But yes, you're right. If she got a hold of the Stargazer, she would be able to have the access codes to other Starfleet ships, and so she could essentially make her own little fleet. And that was the fear, and I get it. But like that's the fact that she was stunning everyone just tells to me like there was something
Well,
else
of course, yeah, and
going
and
on
the
there.
reason, and she said that the reason why she's taken over the ship is because it's the only leverage that she'd be able to have in making this peace deal or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we never
I,
got to see that
and
yet.
either way, like we'll probably won't see it until the end of the season. To be fair, because now
Oh
we're in
yeah,
this alternate universe. But before we get to the final, we haven't
and
talked about
this is going to be the exact scene at the end of the season too,
yes.
right? Either the end of the season or at least the midway finale.
Yeah. We haven't talked about Guinan yet.
Oh yeah, Guinan. Yeah, so in before Picard gets the message, right, to go off into space one last or another time.
He goes to
Uh,
visit an old
he goes to
friend.
visit an old friend. Yeah, who's well, where is she?
She is in Los Angeles in
Hmm.
2401, where she has opened a bar on Forward Avenue at number 10.
Yep, 10 forward. Awesome.
Loved it.
And yep. So go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I think that it's really great that the way they hand wave her age made sense. It's all I needed. It's like, yeah, we can
For
choose
sure.
to age. Yeah, cool. I'm into that. I don't care.
Although, some do you remember the episode where they find Data's head in Earth, and then they go
Oh yeah,
back in time, and it's like, have you been doing this back and forth for the ages? I'm not
she
sure.
might have. She might have. Yeah, I thought the interplay between the two of them worked really well. It was like two old friends. It's like seeing two old friends again. We haven't
Mhm.
seen Guinan since Generations.
Yep.
I know she's in a deleted scene of Nemesis, but like it was just really nice to have that scene to get to together with them. But I want to say they have opened that bar in Los Angeles,
Oh,
and
that's a real place.
I am going on the 11th.
Oh, I didn't know it was a real place. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm
Take a
really
picture for me.
excited.
That's
I
awesome.
will. And it's not gonna be like the same bar. I'm sure they just like
For
modeled
sure.
it. They just
Yeah.
took over a bar and made it. But I'm excited. I can't
So
wait.
so is it Star Trek themed?
Yeah, it's a Star Trek themed bar.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so neat. I'm gonna have to go even though I don't drink.
It's only up for a limited time.
Oh,
It's like a promotional bar. It's gonna open. It opens on the 10th, and I think it's up most of the month. And I'm going on Friday. I'm excited.
nice, man. Let me know how it is.
I will. Anyway, I don't think there's a
Anyway,
whole
yeah,
lot to
it's
say.
it's brief. He, basically what Guinan says is, your final frontier is actually the frontier within you, kind of
Yeah,
thing. She speaks in her riddles, and
that she does.
as she does.
And then the other thing, I think we've danced around it enough, but we could talk about Q at this point.
Yeah, that pretty much brought us to Q, right? Like,
Yeah,
at the moment that Picard gives a self destruct order and it counts down, and the explosion happens. All of a sudden, he wakes up back in his I guess sunroom or whatever
in the vineyard.
in the vineyard. Earlier we did get a little flashback of him as a child with his mother in that same sunroom at the vineyard.
I'm a little confused by that, and I want
Me
to.
too.
I want to put this one out there for my Star Trek fans watching this, and feel free to comment. But here's how it looks to me, and I want to see if and I want to know if it looked that way to anybody else. It looks to me like Picard's mother and father took over the vineyard from someone, and it didn't quite look to me like it was a family house that had been standing for generations. Now I have
It may be a family house, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe they were forced on. They're the only family members left, kind of thing. They didn't really want it initially.
maybe
I didn't really look too much into that, to be quite honest with you.
It was just a weird. It was just a weird thing that I don't think that was quite as clear at this point that how like how that came about, because it does in dialogue it is implied that Picard's family has taken over the vineyard, and in Next Generation it was always kind of implied that the vineyard has just always been in the Picard family. Now, like you said, that could be the case, that it is just the Picard's family is now taking it over from either Picard's uncle or the grandfather or whatever. Like, this is just them moving into the vineyard. But that was a little strange, and I just want to know how other people saw that. So if you could comment below.
Yeah, it wasn't strange enough to me to really think that far deep into it, but
And that's why I'm a better Star Trek fan than you.
Okay.
Okay, but Q.
Yeah, so he's in his thing. He notices that one of his paintings is off, and then all of a sudden he hears those words in the voice that he dreads most. And I thought his reaction was perfect.
Me too.
He goes, no, 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 no,
not
damn you, Q.
Not you.
And granted, the de-aging technology. And by the way, I called it. I called how this was going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? If you guys can go ahead and go back to the previous fake nerd watch, but he sees Q and Q's de-age. It's not the best technology, not like the newest Luke or what have you.
Doesn't need to be. It's only for a second.
It was so quick, and he goes, "Let me catch up." And he goes in his full white goatee, and it's just, he was perfect.
Yeah, a perfect introduction. When he shows up and he's still young Q, and he's like, "Oh, you're a bit older than I thought you would." Hold on, and it's still the same effect. They didn't update the effect very much. Great. I was really into that. And it got me like excited for more.
Yeah, and the last time he makes him recollect the last time that they met, which was at the season finale of TNG, where he said, because he's like, "You've been talking a lot about change and second chances, and what did I tell you last time? Like, the trial never ends." And
I can't believe it's taken them this long to bring back Q.
Yeah.
Like, the last time Q has been seen was in an episode of Voyager, and like none of the Star Trek movies introduced Q, reintroduced Q, and now we've gotten this far away. To be fair, I guess Lower Decks did it first.
I guess
Q showed up in Lower Decks in season 1. But yeah, very nice to see Q back.
Yep.
I love what they did. I love how they introduced him. There's not a whole lot there yet because I think the next episode is going to open with a bunch of exposition.
Yep, I believe that.
But yeah, I'm in. I'm
This is
100% in.
by far, I think, the best episode of Star Trek Picard.
Yes.
And it can only go downhill from here. So I can't wait to hate the rest.
Well,
of the
let's not say that. No, let's be positive. If Michael Burnham,
this was a great episode. I love it.
If Michael Burnham has taught me anything, it is that Star Trek is only about the concept of hope, and that is it. That's all Star Trek is about.
Was that another Michael Burnham speech you're trying to give me?
Yeah, I'm so done with this show. Now that I have,
it's almost over. Don't worry.
Not soon enough. Well, anyway, spoilers for the next Victors. Watch some Star Trek Discovery. I'm really happy to be in this place with Picard. I'm so stoked to see what happens next. I did not expect to like it as much as I did. Yeah, that's really all I got to say. Like I really liked it. I'm really into it.
I liked it a lot. I'm looking forward to the second episode in a couple days.
Yeah.
Get it on. I'm ready.
This is a Star Trek show that I'm like excited.
Strong start. High expectations moving forward. They reset the bar extremely high.
Yeah. And you know what? If you stay at this level, I don't need you to get better. Just keep going. Just make it. If this is just a flat line of how good this episode is, I'm here for it, baby.
Yeah. Let's go. I'm ready.
Anyway, I think that'll do it then. I don't have much else to add.
That's it. That's all I did. I think we talked about this episode quite thoroughly.
Yeah. Hope for more Lars in the future. Can't wait to see where all the rest of the crew are in this dystopian nightmare of Federation. Yeah, I'm glad to be here with Picard. I'm really glad to be here with Picard because I wasn't in the last season. I was dreading this season.
And I'm glad to be here with Picard with you because I feel like the past few minus Lower Decks, it's just been a bitch fest for me.
I mean,
so I'm really excited so far.
It's
only the first episode, but I'm really excited so far.
I think Discovery started strong. I just think it ran out of steam far too quickly. All right. I guess that'll do it then. So why don't you plug your shit?
Oh, cool. Hey, I'm Mike from the Downright Nerdy Podcast. You can find me at Downright Nerdy Podcast on Instagram and at Downright_Nerdy on the Twitters. We come out with a new episode every Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m., but you can watch it and or listen to it anywhere, either on YouTube or any of your favorite podcasting apps. So yeah, we're not this upcoming week, but next week we're going to be reviewing the Batman. It's going to be kind of fun. So we'll see how that goes. And I've been hearing good things. Let's hope it lives up to my expectations.
All right, so that'll do it. This is part of the Victor Podcast family of podcasts. This is Victor's Watch. If you want to check out what we thought about season 1 of Picard that we've alluded to a bit, we've already done that. You can check out our season 1 reviews. Every episode of season 1 has been reviewed by the two of us. You can check that out. Of course, we also have like this on your channel. We have this Picard character profile.
If you want to go back, we review. Brandon's a part of it as a part, in addition to several other podcasters and YouTubers. We go over every single episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation, every single season of Star Trek: The Next Generation, and all the Next Generation movies in preparation for Star Trek Picard season 1. So if you want to go back and watch our reactions and thoughts about every season, go check those out. Links down below.
So that'll do that for this. So stay tuned. We'll keep going with Picard. And we're gonna unfortunately keep going on with Discovery. We got 3 more episodes of that. So stay tuned. But 9 more episodes of Picard. So there you go. So check out, of course, if you like this video and you subscribe to this channel, check out all of our other shows. There's Spaceman Arcade, which is currently going through Mortal Kombat X playthrough. Spaceman Arcade Pause Menu, which just put up a new episode last week with Ben talking to the well-read mage about physical versus digital collecting. There is Animation Station, Fake Nerd Book Club, and Conversation Season 2 is coming, so stay tuned for that. I'll talk a bit more about that when that gets closer. And, of course, the Fictor Podcast, which is our mothership show. This is the show that all of these shows are a part of. You can find, we just talked about The Batman. We talked in depth about how much we enjoyed that movie. That's not a spoiler to say we really liked that movie.
Gosh, I'm not gonna watch it now.
Oh, damn it. And you can check. So we talked about a bunch of other things, and then this week we're talking about maybe the new Pixar film Turning Red. Stay tuned. We'll see what that would be. We go live every Sunday about 8 or 9 at night PST, which is quite late, but whatever. And yeah, we have a TeePublic, we have a Patreon, which you can find linked below. You can support us there. You can find we have masks, Crafted by Z masks. What else do I normally plug? fakenerdguys@gmail.com. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. I'm at BT McClure on Instagram and Twitter. I also write for Kaiju Ramen. I'm the editor for Kaiju Ramen, the website. So if you guys like Kaiju and want to submit something to me, you can find me, submit it to me, and we put it up on that website. I write for Screen Rant. I got a bunch of Star Trek Picard pieces up for Screen Rant, and in preparation for this, there's a one ranking all the time travel methods of Star Trek. There's some of the episodes of Star Trek that Picard is taking inspiration from. There's another one. Oh, Reddit theories of Star Trek Picard, which are all wrong already, which is funny. But you can check out all those lists. Those happen up on Screen Rant. And I also write for Atomic Geekdom, where I'm writing this kind of revisiting the Infinity Saga for you Marvel fans. That goes up every Friday. New piece going up this Friday, not last Friday. I got just too swamped. That's all the things I do. BT McClure on Instagram and Twitter. Mike, where can you find them?
No, I already said it, but
your Twitters and your Instagrams.
Yep. Instagram at Downright Nerdy Podcast, Twitter at Downright_Nerdy, yada yada yada. That's very cool.
Subscribe to us. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel. Until next time we see us, guys. Live long and prosper. Or no, engage.
Make it so.